Raider Nation is in the house 2023. Las Vegas Raiders. Schedule broke. I'm here, Dexter Reed, World of Matches, chopping it up with Raider fan extraordinaire, Spencer the Wiz, Blue Milk Boys Gaming. Bro, how you feeling, man? You had a good draft. You should be feeling pretty good about your Raiders. I mean, I looked at your schedule, and I've looked at your team. I don't think you necessarily got a ton better, but at least you're going into year 2 with Josh McDaniels, and there's room for growth. I'm not so sure you can have career years from Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams again, but let's talk about the schedule and see what you think. Let's go wins and losses. Break it out.
Yeah, let's take a look. I'm excited for sure about the season. Like right now, I don't know. First of all, I just miss football. I think that's one of my main points here. I miss football being around every Sunday.
Absolutely.
And no matter what season it is, no matter how bad the Raiders are, when it's time for the Raiders to kick off, I'm sitting in front of the couch waiting for the game to start.
As you should, man. If you're a real fan, it doesn't matter if you're 1-15 or 15-1. Your team is your team.
It is.
I respect that. I don't like fair weather fans, man. I was this way when my team was garbage, so I'm enjoying it now.
It sounds like you're the same. Game of my life,
yeah. Thank you. A real fan.
So the one thing I do appreciate about this team is I just feel like there's a direction. And I just think that for my whole life, like literally my whole life, since I was 5 when the Raiders lost the Super Bowl. So I just don't really remember those teams other than just like, being a big fan of Rich Gannon. But I just missed it. I was just a kid. And since I've been able to actually watch football and kind of dissect what I'm looking at, it's just the team hasn't had any direction. It's been a slew of coaches.
They got direction now, though.
Yeah, and I just like that for the first time, it feels like the people who are in charge of the team have a leash, and I think that's the only way ever.
I liked your draft, man. I did. I liked your draft.
The way that you're going to beat these quarterbacks in the AFC West is to give them the least amount of time as possible. Yeah, you just have to.
Gotta get pressure.
You can't sit in coverage against Justin Herbert. You can't sit in coverage against Patrick Mahomes. It's just not going to be. They're too
You needed a stud quarterback, but I'm not upset that you took Tyree Wilson. Because Mad Max needs some help. Chandler Jones is a bum. So
this team just had too many holes.
Too many. You still have too many holes, but you're going to be.
It's never going to be fixed in one off season. It's impossible. No. This isn't Madden.
Not only that, you have to want to go to the Raiders. A certain kind of player. The Raiders, they command a certain kind of player.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so you're still a couple of years away, but I see. At how many games did you guys win last year? 7.
That's exactly what I put them at.
I put them at 7 wins again. Let's go through this.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. So week 1 is one of the more interesting games of the season, which is weird to say, but it really, really is. You go to Denver, and the Raiders have owned Denver almost my whole life. Like regardless of how bad the Raiders have been, Denver just does not beat them very often. And this is tough because this is Sean Payton's debut.
Tough draw.
This is a tough way to start the season. It's against
I'm giving you an L here, man. This is a tough way to start the season. They bring in Sean Payton for this reason right here. The Broncos are very much like the Raiders. They've just had enough, man. They've just had enough. They've had enough of having talent and losing to the same kind of teams. And this is why Sean Payton is here. Russell Wilson, year 2 in this system. The problem that I want to give the Raiders this W because they go there and they win these games in Mile High. But I just think it ends here. Coaching matters, and I do think that you just don't have anybody on the back end that can stop a Courtland Sutton, a Jerry Jeudy. They're a strong home team. They've had enough. You'll be in the game, but I don't think you'll win it.
I have this. I think when you look at the Raiders roster, it's better objectively. I think this team has gotten better. The biggest offseason loss is David Perryman, but when I look back, and he was certainly one of the better linebackers the Raiders.
He's the only decent linebacker you had.
Yeah,
Perryman was the only decent linebacker you had.
Availability is the best ability, and this guy, when I'm looking back at the past season, he just wasn't around all that often, and the team really operated without them. And I think that was probably one of the main decisions why they didn't keep him around. I think they want more system guys. I think the Raiders are one move away. I think they have one more move in them before the season starts at the linebacker position specifically, because it's just kind of it's kind of random right now. They got Spillane,
But right now, if you go into the game right now, that this is not a game they're winning.
Yeah. If they get someone like Kyle Van Noy to kind of, I don't know, work up the linebacker room a little bit, or
I don't know.
maybe they make a trade for like Isaiah Simmons or Patrick Queen, these guys who are kind of floating around.
They're floating around there, but I think it would have happened already. I just think they're going to send every running back they have over the middle, and they're going to send every tight end they have over the middle. You got nobody that can cover those guys.
Yeah. So
this is Sean Payton's debut. You really think you're losing that game?
It's tough. It's tough. This is going to be a good game. This is a good way to start the season, I think.
0-1.
It's a good test to see, but
it'll be a good test. But you ain't coming away with that W. That streak ends. Sean Payton's a good quarter.
Going into week 2, it's two road games to start the season against two tough opponents. It's not easy, man. Raiders' schedule is rough to start the year. Yeah. It's really rough. So week 2, you play the Bills. I don't see the Raiders winning this game. It's just
you're gonna get carved up, bro. Kind of Nope. You're flying across the country to play a team whose last memories of being on a field was losing in their own building to the elements. And to Joe Shiesty, they're gonna take it out on you, man. I mean, I can't see a situation that would occur outside of Josh Allen breaking his wrist or something, where you win this game. I just don't see it. Jimmy G is not a go on the road, go get it kind of quarterback. You're going to have to massage his balls, run the ball, tight end action to even be in this game. And I don't see it. Let me tell you something. If there's going to be a pissed off team in the NFL this year, man, it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. How mad are you right now if you're the Buffalo Bills?
They were hyped as the Super Bowl winning team. And
you watched the Chiefs win it again. Literally, last year was the year for anyone to take down Kansas City, and no one still could do it. How mad are you if Josh Allen? You're starting to hear rumblings. If you're still the guy, dude, they're going to destroy the Raiders here. 0-2.
Yeah, and next week, finally a home game. It's Sunday Night Football. So the Raiders have 5 primetime games, which is one of the more surprising things.
It's the Raiders, man. You have to. The NFL's better when the Raiders are good and getting their shine. They deserve it. It's the Raiders, dude. Mark Davis and Al Davis have done for this league. You get your games.
Yeah, the Raiders, the fan base is so interesting because I think it's generally just like
it's divided. I talk to Raiders fans all the time. Some of you are delusional. Some of you
you get some screening questions you got to ask.
Half of you don't even know who's on your own team. Stop. Come on.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. The Raiders are a cultural thing.
Well, it's really Vegas Raiders, Oakland Raiders, and LA Raiders. Let's be honest. And very few of you are sticking through all 3. It's more of a money grab Raiders team now than anything. I mean, I go to these games. The Raider fans are disgruntled as hell, and there's more away fans, or at least 50-50. You really got to change that, and I think it will change with some wins, but boy, you're off to an 0-2 start here.
Yeah, and
Raider fans selling their tickets to the away team, it's happening, bro. I know people who are doing it.
I think it's reasonable to say that they want the team to win, and
they want it. NFL wants you to win. You're better when the league is better when the Raiders are good. The league is better when the Cowboys are good. These are just the facts.
Yeah.
They're just the facts.
I think that I'll give the Raiders their first win. I think that, no matter how bad they've been, they play the Steelers in week 3, Sunday Night Football.
They're going to win this game.
Love this one. Love
They're going to win this game. I don't love Kenny Pickett like that on the road. While the Steelers have gotten better, they play a lot different brand of Steeler football on the road than
they should have beat them last year. It's an absolute
they should have. Derek Carr is just terrible.
He sucks.
That was really one of the worst.
It was one of the worst games
the Raiders played all game. Yeah, it was really, really bad. That game and the Saints game. He was just putrid. But I do see you coming home here, Sunday Night Football, getting fat. Raiders play well under the lights, man. Even in losses, they show up, they show out. I don't love the Steelers flying across the country here. All signs point to the Raiders getting their first home win here, and so you're getting it from World of Matchups.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of away games. 3 of the first 4 games here are away games for the Raiders. They go to LA. That's not a scary place to play, though. The Chargers obviously are very good, but
they're going to be more Raider fans there.
Yeah, the Chargers play the Chiefs, or the Raiders play the Chargers very well. Just no matter what the matchup is, the Raiders play close games against the AFC West. I mean,
They
there's a
do.
few, the Raiders Chiefs matchups get out of
Mm-hmm.
hand a lot of the times, but other than that, like literally other than that, I can't think of the last time the Chargers blew the Raiders out of the water. And
They
obviously the
don't.
Broncos don't. They just don't lose these games a lot, no matter how bad these teams are. Whether Terrell Pryor's the
I'm
quarterback, Carson Palmer.
giving the Raiders this win, bro. Believe it or not, this is. I mean, I saw the Jacksonville Jaguars fly to LA last year and dismantle the Los Angeles Chargers. Dismantle. They won the game by almost 3 touchdowns. I don't think that they are as good as people think they are. Now, could they be better this year? Maybe, but you're going into SoFi Stadium, which really has no home field advantage. There's going to be just as many Raider fans there as there are going to be Charger fans there. And this is an AFC West matchup. Ball bounces the wrong way here. I mean, I think Justin Herbert is good, but he's more of a social media quarterback to me. I mean, I haven't seen it from him yet. I need to see it. And if they can run the ball, which we know the Raiders want to do and can, I think this is a game that they can steal. This is a game that everyone's going to think that they're going to get their doors blown off. I don't. Every year the Raiders win a game or two that they have absolutely no business winning. Every year. And they lose a couple games but have no business losing. Well, this is going to be their first no business win of the year. I'm giving.
Yeah, and I think they go into this game 1-2. Everyone, chalks up that.
They get to 500 here, man. Until I see the Chargers be the Chargers that everyone thinks they are, I'm going to think this way about the Chargers.
Yeah, and it's just like I think the Raiders are better this year, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo fits the system so much better. Derek Carr was so bad last year. Like I don't know what this season looks like.
Jimmy G ain't much better, man. If we're being honest, but we'll see. I don't think
more about the system. It's not about Jimmy Garoppolo.
He doesn't turn the ball over like Derek Carr. Well,
yeah,
let's hope.
Yeah, next. Going on next to Monday Night Football here, early game against Green Bay. This is like one of those 50-50 matchups. I think these teams are about equally as good.
This is a home game?
This is a home game.
This is a game you should win, man.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it feels like a game that the Raiders like one of those games
but you know what? But again, this just like I just gave you a game that you were supposed to lose and you're gonna win. This is gonna be a game that you're supposed to win that I could see you losing. Yeah, I'm one of the people that is willing to go die on a hill somewhere and say that I think Jordan Love's going to be better than a lot of people are expecting him to be. It's very difficult to play in the shadows of a legend. You saw it with Aaron Rodgers early and Brett Favre. Brett Favre had to leave before Aaron Rodgers came into his own. Jordan Love has been poo-pooed on and talked so much trash about. It's finally his team. The guy had no real reps, no real help. I could see you guys losing this game on some fluke nonsense. I mean, no one thought the Cardinals were going to win on a scoop and score last year, and they're a terrible football team. Terrible. I'm giving Green Bay this win. Don't ask me how. They're going to get it. Christian Watson goes off. Something crazy is going to happen defensively. The Raiders just aren't that good. This is the type of game that I expect them to win, and I think that's why they're going to lose it.
Yeah, I could see this one being a loss. I say the Raiders go 2-3 here to this point, and then next week they roll into another home game against the Patriots. So a rematch. Obviously, the Patriots were here in Allegiant last year. I don't know. I don't see the Raiders losing this game.
Nah, me either. This
is Jimmy Garoppolo is very familiar with
Jacoby Myers revenge game after what happened last year. The Raiders are feeling really good about themselves after that debacle. I mean, it is Belichick, but again, man, that New England offense is the worst in the league. They're putrid. They don't do much with anything. You just got to control Ramondre Stevenson. The Raider D-line plays well at home. This should be a game that you get. That's the team that can't score.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the Raiders are going to be a team that scores. I think they're
going to score. Raiders could score, man. Offense is not the issue.
No, it's not. They have
offense is not the issue, bro.
They have a great tight end room now with Austin Hooper as the backup tight end.
Michael Mayer is going to be great for you guys. Michael Mayer was the best pick of the second round. I love this kid. All he did in Notre Dame was score touchdowns. He's a big body that can help chip for Josh Jacobs.
They have a legitimate wide receiver too this year. Yes. They're gonna score close to 30 points. I think they were supposed to last year. They were a top 10 offense. I think they're going to be even better this year. And again, I think if you can just score enough points, I think New England's going to win that game. They need a 20-point per game.
England can't win that game. No, I shouldn't say can't, but I think after
Yeah.
losing to Green Bay, I can't go around and have you
Yeah,
lose to the Patriots. I can't
exactly.
do it. I just can't do it.
I'd like the Raiders next week. After this, they go to Chicago. The last time they played Chicago, Henry Ruggs killed someone drunk driving, and it just ruined it the whole season. And
Yeah,
the first game they played, that was that week,
I
was
can't
against
give you
Chicago.
this game. I think Chicago's going to be a lot better. I think Justin Fields is now going to get himself a line. I like Chicago here. I just think a big win versus New England, and then now having to go try to put something together. This is going to be the Raiders' problems, is putting big streaks together, 2, 3, 4 wins together. They're going to win 1, lose 2, win 3, lose 2. And I see that being their season all year long. I just think that I watched the Bears opening day last year take the Niners apart, and they're better. They're much better now. I think the Bears could potentially have the type of season that the Lions had. I mean, I'm going to take the Bears and bet they're over for their wins this year. I don't see why anybody wouldn't. Once you start getting the line better, they have talent, man. They got talent. It's all about, can you keep Justin Fields off his backside? He got sacked 55 times. Double Mad Max. Take your chances. I like the Bears at home.
I like the Raiders because I think that Tyree Wilson fills in a lot of the biggest problems they had last year. I think this is the problem with Chandler Jones. I think he came into the season out of shape, and I think he's a little bit older. I think
He's
you're
old.
going to I think you're going to rotate Chandler Jones and Tyree Wilson. Max is going to play all games. Absolute freaking beast. He's just unbelievable football player. But I think if you can rotate the two guys in and out,
my team any day.
I think that the pressure that you can get on Justin Fields is going to be enough. And like I said, I think the storyline going through this game, the last time they played each other, is when Henry Ruggs kills somebody. And I think that's the Raiders want to move away from that so badly. And I think they're going to really want this victory here. I'm going to give this one to the Raiders. I really think, regardless of what their record is, this is a win for the Raiders.
This is a big time win if they can
it's
get
big.
it.
It's a big game for the Raiders. This is one of the biggest tests. Can they beat the middling teams they lose to every single year? And the reason why they go 7-9. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Next week, going to the Lions. That's tough. You play
win. Lions
the
are on the
second
come
away
up.
game in a row.
I don't think they're winning that game either.
Jared
Goff is better than people give him credit for, man. Now, it's still early in the season. This may be the game or one more game suspension for Jameson Williams. So you do have that working for you if he's not on the field, because that kid's going to be an absolute stud. He's just a dummy for gambling and getting caught. But even with the bad draft that the Lions had, they're going to do enough to win this game in Ford Field. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the most slept-on wide receiver in the entire league. You now have a lot with Jahmyr Gibbs. You have a lot. I mean, their running room is good. I didn't like the pick, but they're going to use this kid, and they're going to use him a lot. Sam Laporta will be good for them. They're going to do enough to win this game. The Lions last year, they even were in on Thanksgiving Day. That's a game versus the Bills that they could have won. I think they're a better team now. I just think they could have been a lot better because I didn't like the guys they had. They could have had Christian Gonzalez. They could have had Jalen Carter. But they have a vision of what they want to do, and they can score a lot, man. And you're going to have to score a lot to stay with them on that field. I'm taking the Lions in this one. I just don't trust the Raiders there.
Yeah, the Raiders just don't win marquee games like this. They just haven't in 20 years.
And the NFL is really pushing for the Lions to be good. Have you noticed?
Yes,
I mean, given them the opening day game, I mean, they are swinging from the nuts of the Lions right now.
Yeah,
so, if there's a call that's going to go some kind of way, it's going to go the Lions' way here. Come on. I mean, we already know. We've been watching this game long enough. And look, if anybody who's a Raider fan thinks for a second that the reason why the Raiders get jobbed all the time isn't because Al Davis sued the league, you should give up your silver and black credentials right now. They're never.
If there's a call, it ain't going to go the Raiders' way. I'll tell you that right now.
Until Roger Goodell is dead.
This feels like the game where the call is just going to go really bad. Like a really bad call is going to go against the Raiders.
Tim Brown, Marcus Allen could be on the field. You're not getting the call. You're not getting the call.
I agree.
Sorry.
I think this next stretch of games is the end of the Raiders season. So let me pull this back up. I mean, I think we can go pretty quickly through these games. This is where the Raiders this is it. This is the end of their season. I think they go to the Giants. It's at home. They're going to take a big fat loss. It's just a complete mismatch when it comes to coaching. I think
Darren Waller revenge game. Yeah, flying across the country. You're losing that game.
Dable is just a much better
He's
game planner.
Significantly better, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be
Giants are
going
going
to
have a good year. Giants will be better, man. Giants. I like the Giants this year.
I like the Giants a lot.
I like Dable. That was a great hiring.
Yes, fantastic. One of the best coaching hires in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Next game, you go against the Jets. Again, you're at home. I don't think that matters. There's no real home field advantage for the Raiders yet at all.
Aaron Rodgers should have been a Raider.
Yeah, this is Aaron Rodgers knows he could have been a Raider, and the team
Breece Hall should be fully healed by then. I mean, they're going to come at Sauce Gardner. I mean, they're going to take Jimmy G right out of this game.
Absolutely,
five sacks for the Jets. You're going to
next week they go to the Dolphins. That's going to be the worst game of the season.
Tyreek Hill bloodbath. You got nobody. See, now you're coming up on the problem. You're facing teams that are going to throw, and they're going to throw a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
They're going to throw a lot, and you got
they're going to the Raiders. I'm telling you right now, if you've been reading the tea leaves, and nobody reads the tea leaves more than me because I don't listen to like the garbage that gets put on articles about this Raiders team. I look at the team from my perspective, and I look at their moves, and that's how I judge the team, not based on what a beat writer says. Read the tea leaves. This is going to be one of the best.
What's happening inside? What's happening inside?
You know, if you look at the way that they've been
taking. That's what matters.
You look at Joshua Epps, who they picked up, Spillane, who they picked up, Byron Young in the 3rd round. These guys they're money balling this team for a run defense. That is the best way I can describe it.
Boy, they can't pick up the best guys that throw. You're in trouble.
They're going to be one of the best run defending teams. So I think gives them a pretty decent advantage against the Lions. I think they're a very run heavy team. I'm not kidding. I think the Raiders are going to be a top 10 run defense this year. They're going to be one of the worst passing, and they just come into this gauntlet where they're just going to get carved like Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, it's just tough when you play guys like the Chiefs, who, I mean, literally, the Chiefs have been to 5 straight AFC championship games without a 1,000-yard rusher. They don't need to run the ball. They sprinkle it in just for kicks, just for shits and giggles. I mean, like they do. I mean, so then, Tua to Tyreek, Tua to Waddle, and you're not winning that game either, bro.
No,
this is where the season goes south.
That's what I'm saying. Next week they go to Kansas City. It's at home. I don't think that matters at all.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, going into the bye week, just completely defeated. The season's over at this point. So four straight losses. Yeah. And then they go into the bye week, a late season bye week. It doesn't matter. I think the league knows that the Raiders are just kind of done at this point. So they're like, let's just give them a late bye week. Who cares? So I would like to have seen it be a little bit earlier, the bye week. But like I said, when it comes to bad teams and they're making the schedule,
they're not going to help you at all.
They ain't going to care about.
You have to earn a good schedule. Yeah,
you do. Going into the next week against the Vikings, this is a game they shouldn't win, but I think they will.
I think they win this game, man.
It's just the Raiders. It's how they operate. They lose 4
Not
games
only
in a
that,
row.
dude. It'll be a close one. I mean, Justin Jefferson will go crazy, but I just don't trust Kirk Cousins, man. I trust a fart after Mexican food more than I trust Kirk Cousins.
I can see a lot of turnovers. You see
Kirk
Max
Cousins
Crosby
is a
just
turnover machine.
I think Tyree Wilson, Chandler Jones are going to catch their stride at this point in the season when it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? They're just going to
when the pressure is off, you'll see the best part of the Raiders team. And this is a game that they're going to get. I don't trust the Vikings at all.
I agree with you. So let's go over now. 5 wins for the Raiders at this point. They're going to play the Chargers. The Chargers are going to be pissed if they lost that game.
Chargers are going to win that game.
This is just going to be a tourist crowd. There's going to be some Raiders fans there. There'll be some Chargers fans. There's going to be some people who are in town for Vegas, and they're like, the Raiders are in town. They're playing a football game.
Let's go see the Raiders.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of tickets available. No one's going to want to buy this game. It's an Amazon Thursday night football game or Monday night. Yeah, Thursday. It's Thursday. It's an Amazon.
Even worse.
Even worse, Raiders fans are going to be checked out because their season's over.
Bye. Season's
Chargers
over.
fans.
They're gonna remember how the Chargers gift wrapped that game to them in the playoffs. You guys are not winning that game.
Nope, that's a loss. Going to the Christmas game. See you later. Merry Christmas to the Chiefs.
Merry Christmas to the Chiefs.
Wrapping up the first seed in the AFC West.
Another year getting swept by the Chiefs.
Raiders are going to, ruin their draft position here in Week 17. Just absolutely demolish the Colts, who they should have beaten the last time they played them. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen.
Yeah, they'll beat the Colts.
They'll steamroll them.
Mm-hmm. They should. They'll beat the Colts.
And then I'll take a win last week here, Week 18 against the Broncos. I think they lose that Week 1. I don't think the Raiders lose twice to the Broncos.
No, they won't get swept. They usually play the Broncos really, really well. The Raiders usually play the AFC West really, really well. You'll split with everyone except Kansas City. And it wouldn't surprise me if you even split. I wouldn't look. I've seen a lot of crazy things in my times as an NFL fan and a Kansas City Chief fan. If the Raiders beat the Chiefs on Christmas, it would not shock me.
Yeah,
The
it just seems like the Raiders do stuff like
play
that all the time.
these teams very well. They should have beat the Chiefs last year in Arrowhead.
It's just the Raiders.
It's Raiders are gonna Raider.
Yeah.
I've seen the Raiders give away more wins than any other team in the National Football League. It's just not even close. It's just what they do. They reach for players in the draft and they gift wrap wins to other teams. It is what it is. They're not there yet, but there's your 7 wins for Raider Nation and Las Vegas Raiders going into the 2022, 2020, or 2023 season. Excuse me, Dexter World of Matchups. Raider fan extraordinaire, Spencer the Wiz. Let us know how many wins you think this team is getting in the comments below, guys. Enjoy the season.
See ya.